أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
I'll make it easy for you. No? You know this is wrong. When you look at all of these jama'ats and all of these, this is all not the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the way of the Salafist Ummah is to go out and call towards Tawheed, go to the people. Have halaqat in the Masjid, dars, tadris as well. No, but not just that. Go out to the people and call towards Tawheed. And make that your way, and make that your precedence. Now, how? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he ordered some of the Sahaba to learn the Aramaic or Hebrew language, so he can understand the text. Because sometimes when you use the Bible in da'wah, people tell you, made up your own way. Just because you're ignorant doesn't mean that I made up my own way. If you learn something. He told them to learn the language, to know the scriptures, to give da'wah to them. At times, we'll find the hadith, for example, in Abu Dawud and others, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will tell the Yahud, bring your Tawrah, bring your book. And then he would show them in it, but they would try to hide with their hands. And he would tell them that you have added, and you have subtracted, and you've done this, and you've done that, and you've written with your own hands, and ascribed it to Allah. But he would tell them what is the things in their Bibles, in their Torah, in their books. Even though they continue to change and adapt and rewrite those books. We don't believe that even at that time they had the complete original message of Musa alayhi salam. They didn't have the complete original Injil, what was revealed to Isa ibn Maryam. But from their corrupted works even, he would show them. And we do the same. He would tell them about what is from the Quran. The challenges of the Quran, the miracle of the Quran. We do the same. He showed them miracles like the splitting of the moon. And we tell them about this. Without being shy, without being, how are we going to prove it? No, we have evidences. More evidences than they have for their history, than they have for what they believe. I usually speak to an American audience who use like George Washington and stuff. But since I'm speaking to a British audience, I'm going to use you guys as history. Sayyid, name me an early king. King Henry. Everybody likes Henry, man. King Henry. What did Henry do?
8 wives.
8 wives? At the same time?
No,
Inshallah. No different times. 4 at a time? Other than 8 wives, did he do anything interesting?
He made Protestantism in UK.
I think he wanted to divorce a wife, right? That's why he brought Protestantism. Okay, have you guys read this?
Made his own church.
Huh?
He made his own church.
He made his own church, the Church of England. I've heard of her. Who here has heard of King Henry? Raise your hands. Some of you guys haven't heard of, you never heard of King Henry? What kind of school you go to, bro? You don't have a history class? What? You can't sleep in my talk. Like, by the way, if you want to catch up on sleep, like, go somewhere else. I'm going to call on you. So, King Henry, how many of you heard that he created the Church of England? Raise your hand. Brothers in the back, you would, yeah, you never heard of it? No? What school do you go to? You gotta talk to your history teacher. What kind of grade did you get in history? Huh? Okay. Prove it. Prove it. Who saw him? I'll wait. Who saw him? No names? Go ahead.
His friends.
Excellent. What's their names? You don't know? That doesn't really help much then, does it? His friends, how was their memory? How was their moral character? Probably not good. Them kings were wild, bro. Alright. Who did his friends tell it to?
They wrote it down.
Excellent. Where are the manuscripts?
British Museum.
Hmm?
Maybe in the British Museum.
Maybe. Which museum? Who authenticated the manuscript? Who scribed it? Who protected it? Where was it written? These things that we take as facts would not hold up to hadith science. If you told me a hadith and I said, who heard it from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And you said, some people. And I said, who did they tell it to? Which tabi'i did they tell it to? And you said, I don't know. And I said, who did they tell it to? You said, I don't know. And then I found a manuscript hundreds of years later, which we cannot verify, and there's that break of majhul, one after the other. We would call this a mu'allaq hadith. They would reject it. Extremely weak. Rejected, munkar. Could go to being even mawdu', yani a fabrication. We wouldn't accept it at all. Now, we have a miracle of the Prophet ﷺ that during his time he split the moon. And some of the Muslims today, because of the weakness of their iman, because of the weakness of their faith, they want to deny this. Oh no. There's one guy in the UK. Yes, I'm not going to mention his name. Yeah. He's in the UK, I remember now. Something Qitta, like a kid. Abu Qitta, I think it was. Somebody got that one? Mufti Abu Qitta. It's not late, I can tell you that much. That's a lie. Maybe Abu Pisho, Delhi. He denied it. No, it wasn't really a spreading of the moon. It was like maybe an asteroid hit, or it was like a natural occurrence. There was a eclipse. Well, there was an eclipse. Why would it be the big deal? Where's the miracle? Why would the Quraysh be so shocked? Why would they go to Abu Bakr and say, this? Why would this be something mentioned in the Quran as alamat of the day of judgment that are coming true? Eclipses happen all the time. Why would there be so many mutawatir ahadith establishing where this was a miracle? They said, what do you want to see? And they said, we want to see the moon split. And Rasulullah showed them as a miracle, right? If it's a natural occurrence, there's no miracle. But the weakness of iman, the wanting to sell out the religion and be accepted, because maybe when you go to their kafir friends and they tell them and they go, what? The moon split? Like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Weak. Not us. Tell you. When I asked you about King Henry, the 8 wives, Church of England, you couldn't name anybody that met him. I'm sure you could research somebody's name and find out. But I can tell you right now, who saw the splitting of the moon? Abdullah ibn Abbas. Not only can I tell you who, I can tell you about them. What's his name? Abdullah. What's his father's name? Abbas. What's his son? Fudayl. I can tell you a lot more about him. His brother, Fudayl. I can tell you where he lived, Mecca. I can tell you he made hijrah. I can tell you he was the son of Abbas, who was the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ. I can tell you that he was one of the great memorized of the Quran. I can tell you how was his memory. It was amazing. He memorized the Quran, he revised it, he taught it. I can tell you about his students, Mujahid and Ata and others, the Tabi'un, who took knowledge from them. I can tell you the names and biographies of not just him, but everybody that he gave this news to, from the Tabi'un and Taba Tabi'un, and who wrote them down, and all the different books that wrote them down. And I can give you the biographies of the authors who wrote down these things, like Al-Bukhari and Muslim and Abu Dawud and Tirmidhi and Majah and Ahmad and others. Okay, that's just one chain. The mutawatir chains. Anas ibn Malik, who was his father, Malik. Everything about these Sahaba is well documented. His mother, his father who didn't become Muslim, his stepfather, I'll give you all of this. Sulaim and Abu Talha, and all of this. We can give you their entire biography. Where was he from? Medina. Which tells you that he saw something that happened in Mecca when he was in Medina. It tells you that people in other geographical locations also saw the splitting of the moon, not just the people of Mecca. We can tell you Others, like Abu Sufyan and Al-Mughira, who were not Muslim at the time. Abu Sufyan later became Muslim. And he was one of the reporters, died a mushrik, but still was from the people that reported seeing the splitting of the moon. Imagine, today we're at the park, or not the park, Plaza, clock tower. And if I was at the clock tower, there were Muslims and there were non-Muslims. And if I told them, right now, I just split the sun. I looked up and I said, like this, and I split the sun. The non-Muslims would be rejoicing, they'll be jumping up and down. And some of you UK fitna guys would also be rejoicing. They got him! Right? They'd be jumping up and down, we caught him! And even my own Muslim brothers, even Hussein would be like, brother, I think you need some rest. You haven't slept enough, man. You've been on the go a lot because the sun's not split. Right? When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by the will of Allah and the power of Allah, split the moon, not only did the Sahaba confirm this, they said, we saw it, but the mushrikeen confirmed it. The people of shirk, the enemies of the Prophet ﷺ, they said, I don't know if it's magic or something, but we did see it. They went out, look good, Bidayah and Nihaya, look at Ibn Kathir. They went out to the Bedouins and the travelers, the tribes, the caravans that were out, and they said, hey, maybe they did magic on our eyes. Did you guys see it? They said, yes, we saw it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Qamar, the first ayah established this, and years and years the mushrikeen, they heard this ayah, they knew these ahadith, they never denied it. They all admitted it happened. Imagine, if it hadn't happened, wouldn't they be like, what? Oh, no, this didn't happen, we were there. Show me one time that any enemy of the Prophet ﷺ even said, that yeah, we were in Mecca, it didn't happen. I can show you a hadith that they say it did. So when we have such miracles, we give da'wah like that. We're not ashamed of them, we educate ourselves about it. We have a video on this issue. We give all the references, scan all the books, show them on the pages. So this is the way of da'wah of the Quran, talking about the miracles of the Quran, scientific miracle, linguistic miracle, prophecies that came true, and giving da'wah from the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and about the mu'jizat, the miracles of the Prophet ﷺ that are from Sahih Hadith. Don't go into the weak stuff. Like this splitting of the moon is what we call mutawatir. So many chains, it's ilm al-yaqeen. It's relied upon knowledge, no doubt to it.